The highest converting ads on Meta in 2025 have one thing in common. They don't look like ads at all. Now, what do I mean by this? You gotta hide the sales process. And you can perfectly see this in the first ad. This is the diary style format ad. It kind of looks like a journal entry. Works amazingly well for supplements, skincare, anything that is result focused and takes a while to manifest. Now, customers, they don't want to see instant results because most of the time that's just going to be a magic pill and it's not believable. But if something happens over a period of time, it makes it a lot more believable and tangible. In this case, this ad generated 130K at a ROAS of 2. And then we have a Facebook comment. So in this case, it's just, it mimics a Facebook comment. This generated 140K at a ROAS of 6. Again, we're hiding the sales process. You wouldn't think that this is an ad if you just came across it in your feed. Then finally, we have our third format that I'm not going to show right now. You're going to have to stick around for the end of the video to see that. But you can literally copy paste this format. I'm also going to show you how you can create this. And this is responsible for 8 figures in sales across multiple brands. Now, let's first get into the problem of traditional ads. And I think this image right here perfectly shows the problem. It's almost like most ads, they hold up a sign, just kind of like saying, oh, look at me, I'm an ad. So the psychology is simple. Your brain has this pattern recognition for ads. After seeing thousands of Meta ads, your prospects have developed what I call an ad radar. And it's not just the ads on Meta, it's also the ads that they just see. You go into work, the posters, the traditional ads, or print ads rather. So they can spot these traditional ad formats within milliseconds, and they're just going to mentally tune out. As a result, they're just going to scroll past your ads without actually reading the message, which of course is just going to result in bad performance. Now, these are the burned out ad format that every guru teaches. So if you came across this in your feed, you'd instantly know, yeah, this is an ad. You've got benefit call out, you've got us versus thems, you've got before and afters. I mean, there's a lot more. There's offer ads. It's just like headlines with the product. But yeah, there's a lot of these. And I'm not saying these can't work. It's just going to take more to find winning ads, which essentially Incognito ads is going to make it easier. Here's what happens. Your brain's built-in ad blocker, when you see these, activates within milliseconds. They've seen this 100 times. They know what's coming. Even if you have incredible offers, incredible products, they're mentally out. Most likely your competitors will also be running similar ads. So there's no way for you to stand out. And bottom line, that's just not how you're going to scale to $1,000+ in daily ad spend profitably. Now, why Incognito ads? As I've said before, Incognito ads are ads that don't look like ads. Now, the brain's ad blocker that I've explained before, they bypass this by mimicking familiar content, or in some cases, something familiar that they've come across in the real world. On a psychological level, what happens is they drop their guard, and by the time they realize that it's an ad, it's already too late. They are sold. So you could argue that these ads become unskippable because they're not just going to scroll past it on their feed, especially if the messaging is good. So we're leveraging familiarity bias to bypass the brain's ad blocker. The brain trusts formats it recognizes from daily use. So you can see that here have, the Facebook comment from before. We have an incoming call. We have this YG DM right there. So there's not going to be this immediate sales alarm trigger. And also, they're going to read the full message before they realize that it's an ad. So here are some examples. You can see a WhatsApp conversation, a Facebook comment, and a journal entry. And I'm going to go over more, or I'm going to show you more of these formats in a bit. But first, I'm going to show you how to actually create these from scratch. So the first method is open your eyes and iterate. This is arguably like there's not as much of a framework to it. You just have, whenever you scroll on social media, and yeah, just whenever you come across something that could be interesting, or even in the real world as well, you can snap a photo or take a screenshot. There's also another approach. You can bookmark some folders of ad libraries from winning brands that use incognito ads. You save the format, and then you just adapt that visual structure for your product. You can use ChatGPT to do this as well. As an example, I saw a skincare brand run an ad that looked like a journal entry, so we borrowed that format for our Flytrap clients, and yeah, that generated 130K in revenue. You don't always want to be looking in your own niche, because it could be that those formats are exhausted. So yeah, you want to look in other niches and then apply that to your product. We have method 2 then, which is borrowing UI UX elements from platforms that people already trust, and then you wrap your message inside them. So this could be, for example, text message threads, note app screenshots. You may have come across this before. Social media comments, X, Reddit, YG, Quora, Facebook posts, press mentions. Now, these formats work so well because your product already knows how to read them. They've seen them before. It doesn't look like an ad. It just looks like something that they might screenshot and share. And that's also how it comes across, like just someone else posting organic post. So for example, their journal entry or the Facebook comments. But yeah, this list is by no means exhaustive. I would always be on the lookout for new formats. Now you can just use these, copy paste them, but that's not what's going to get you the best results. Usually the best results are if you come up with something on your own. You have the courage to test something new that may not have been tested before. So for example, with apps screenshots, this is something that floated around DTC Twitter for a while. So there's a lot of brands that jumped on that bandwagon. If you were one of the first ones, you've probably made a lot of money. But if you're one of the later ones, that format is already exhausted. But yeah, and the other thing is you also have to look at, where are my customers spending their time? So for example, if you had a product geared toward, well, Republicans, you might go for UI UX elements from Truth Social, for example, just because that could be a platform that they spend a lot of time on. Yeah, that's it for method 2. Here are some examples. Yeah, WhatsApp conversation or DMs, Facebook comments, or we have a post from a platform. So then we have method 3, which is my favorite method, and that's physical mimicry. You take things that normally exist in graphic design and bring them to life in the real world. But you could also observe things in the real world and then kind of change them to fit your message. An example of this would be, for example, a sign on a bus stop, and then you just make that your ad. So here are some formats: Post-it notes or paper headlines. So instead of using graphic design, you write your headline on a Post-it note, stick them on your product, or you have a flat lay with your product right next to a piece of paper with a testimonial. You can have handwritten signs, so customers holding handwritten signs with their results. You can have paper cutouts. So you, instead of having a benefit call out, you cut out the individual benefits and lay them around the product. You can have a whiteboard comparison instead of a us versus them. So this works even better if it's an authority figure. So for example, if it was a doctor comparing the other solutions in the market to yours with a whiteboard as a photo, maybe the product somewhere in the foreground or holding the product, then we have an ingredient label comparison. This works well if, for example, the other solutions in the market are very chemical, have a lot of ingredients. So for example, I've seen a clean fast food chain do this in the US, where they compare the 20 plus ingredient McDonald's fries to theirs, which only had 3 to 4 ingredients. So yeah, all of this makes your ad feel tangible and honest. It could just be something that the customer walked in on, and it doesn't seem as manufactured as traditional ads, and that's why these also convert so well. So here we have some examples. The post-it or the sign next to the product or the piece of paper have an ingredient call out. You could also do this with benefits. You have blackboard, us versus them. Then we have a problem solution ad. We have headline on fur, but this could also be skin. So for example, using a text marker to write on someone's belly. Let's say, for example, you're selling a weight loss product with the result. Yeah, so then we get to the final format that I promised. I call it the testimonial on steroids format. Essentially, the way it works is you get a customer or content creator to hold a piece of paper with a short testimonial and your product. So in terms of the framework, how you build this headline, you can also send this to your customers or content creators to give them a little bit of guidance. You would elaborate on the timeline, how long did it take, what changes were seen, so the results, the impact, what problem did it solve, and the goal without. So it's just kind of saying, okay, I got to my goal without doing this annoying thing. And you just mix and match these points, or the customer would mix and match these points to tell their own story. Here are some examples. This made me drop 2 dress sizes in just 4 weeks. No more pasty skin thanks to this. So that would be for a tanning supplement, for example, or this, for this olive oil supplement right here. This made my joint pain fade in days. Alternatively, what you can do as well is you can mine your existing reviews for powerful short reviews, and then just get a content creators to stand in for the reviewer. We've done this a couple of times and we've hit some winners doing this. But just to kind of summarize, Incognito ads work because they don't feel like ads, but more importantly, they work because they bypass the pattern recognition that makes prospects scroll past ads in their feed. This essentially gives you an unfair advantage. Your Incognito ads will outperform your competitors. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe. And if you're interested in our agency building Incognito ads for your brand, just go in the description below and hit the link to my scheduler. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video and have a great day.